Okay, this video is going to be about some managing of your images before we get into development. So we're going to be looking at this tab right here in Lightroom, the Library tab, and what we can some things that might be helpful for you. So what you're looking at is maybe just some photos I took of exploring macro photography and studio lighting. I'm interested in microfauna, so this is a snail called Stenotrema hirsutum, and this would be just after we already made an import video, so I've imported my images in some way, and now I'm looking at them in the library. So now what can we do? Obviously the library is the place where we're going to find our selects, right? Not every photo we take is going to be a winner. We're looking for images that we want to go ahead and go through the whole process of developing, and now that's going to be a second video, but let's just go through some of this management stuff. You'll be presented with these thumbnails. If you look down the bottom right, you can actually change the scale of these thumbnails should you want to. I usually just leave them at whatever's the default, which might be somewhere in here, whatever's the default. So I can see the images I have. One of the important things that you can do here is as you're looking at image, you might want to make it a little bigger. So I selected the image and I pressed the space bar, and the space bar jumped it up so that it kind of filled the screen here. I double clicked it to get off. There's like 1,000 ways to do the same thing, right? So if I just double clicked on it, it would go back to here. If I hit the G button, it goes back into grid mode, right? So basically the library, I don't know why they call it library and then make you think of it as grid for remembering the quick key, but if you ever kind of get into an image, you can hit G and go back. What's happening over here is you can do some development, some quick development, and some really harsh uh, overall things to images within the library, but we're going to use the more fine develop. But you can also see that you can individually go in and put in keyword tags. You can look at the metadata if you wanted to add copyright. These are things you would do on import, so we're not really worried about that. So let's go to G. Whoops. Hey, there you go. So that we kind of come out. So what we really want to do, and what did I do there? See, sometimes there's all this stuff that I don't even know what it is because it bloat. Okay, I'm not going to worry about whatever this is that just appeared. But if you get it, just ignore it. The main thing that I do is when I'm looking at selects, I will either, maybe flag it in some way, right? So flag is right here. Like, oh, I want to make that as a select. I like that one. I'm going to make that a select. So what I'm doing is looking through my images for something that I might want to see. And then once I have kind of flagged these images I want to see, we can actually put on a filter, right, and look at the ones that have been, there we go. This first one, I don't know why it seemed like it was going crazy in the beginning, that have been flagged. So I then would go in further and decide. If we didn't want to, again, so many little weird buttons here. Don't want to use the flag system, we can use a star system, which is actually probably what I use actually more. Where I go through once and I'll be like, oh, this one's a good one, and this one's a good one, so I'll take 3 stars, right? And obviously I'm not just basing it on the thumbnails. I go in and I look and I say, like, I probably wouldn't flag this one because I'm like, well, it's pretty, focus is a little off here. But this is how you do it. And again, you can filter these, like if you want to see only ones that have 3 or more stars, 5 stars, we don't have any. Again, this is just all how you want to manage your thing here. Again, color coding, we can color code right here. It's really just up to you to find a system that works for you. It's all about what you like. Again, I start at 3 stars, and then I will go in and maybe once I see all of the stars together, I will start toggling stars from there. I start at 3 because it's kind of a midway, because then I might find one I think that's super stellar, and that's going to likely be the one, and then I jump it up to 5 stars. Some I might then start downgrading. You never know. It depends on what I'm doing in the day. There's no real rhyme or reason in my own management of images. But that is most of what you need to know about the library. Again, if somehow you need to get back to the library and say you've gotten into develop, well, you have to have an image selected, right? Just hitting the G key, that is the way to go back to your library.